Hey y'all, Billy Thompson here. If you're looking to fix up your truck, figure out what that weird noise is, or just learn a thing or two about keeping your car running right, you've come to the right place. I keep it simple, straight up, and hands-on. Go ahead and give this video a like. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And let's get to work. Enough jawing, let's dive in.
Fault code P0720 sounds like output shaft speed sensor circuit fault. Often, in OBD2 scanner software, the name may have the English spelling, output shaft speed, OSS, sensor circuit malfunction. Technical description and decoding of error P0720. Diagnostic fault code P0720 indicates a fault in the output shaft speed, OSS, sensor circuit. Without an accurate output speed signal, the transmission control module, TCM, it cannot change speed correctly, so this code is set. In electronically controlled transmissions, the output shaft speed sensor, OSS, is located at the end of the transmission in front of the drive shafts or drive axle. The output shaft speed read can be used to determine when to shift, as well as the torque converter timing and the electronic pressure control inside the transmission. If a fault is detected by the transmission control module, TCM, the PCM/ECM can override the values based on other sensors to determine the shift time. This adjusts the torque converter and pressure when information from the OSS sensor is not available. The OSS sensor is also normally used to display the speedometer reading, so the data it contains may not be correct. In some cars, the OSS sensor is in line with the transmission fluid temperature, TFT, sensor. If the TFT sensor or the associated wiring is faulty, the OSS sensor may also malfunction. Therefore, if there are other errors associated with the TFT sensor with the code P0720, look for a possible problem with any of these sensors or the wiring between them. Symptoms of malfunction. The main P0720 fault symptom for the driver is the illuminated MIL, malfunction indicator light. This is also referred to as the check engine or simply the check engine light. It can also manifest as the check engine control lamp on the control panel will light up. The code will be stored as a fault. Other related fault codes may also be present. The speedometer or tachometer is not working, or is faulty. Gear changes are difficult. Problems shifting gears. The engine does not accelerate well. Jerky or false ignition at idle or under load. The engine may stall or not start. Reduced engine power. Increased fuel consumption. Error P0720 is quite serious, as the conditions that caused it can cause damage to the transmission. The transmission fluid temperature sensor, TFT, has failed. Open, short-circuited wiring or short-circuited connectors in the circuits of the sensors listed. Sometimes the cause is a faulty PCM module. How to remove or clear fault code P0720. Some suggested steps for troubleshooting and correcting fault code P0720. Read all stored errors using an OBD2 scan tool. Clear the errors and carry out a test drive to see if the P0720 error appears again. If the code appears again, inspect the wires and connectors for damage. Test the output shaft speed and transmission fluid temperature sensor input circuits. Replace the faulty sensor if there is a problem. Flash or replace the PCM if necessary. Diagnosing and solving problems. It's worth first looking for the Technical Service Bulletins, TSB, for your particular make of car with error P0720. If the existing problem has been described, following the instructions can save you time and money in diagnosing and fixing the problem. Visually inspect all cables and connectors leading to the output shaft speed and transmission fluid temperature sensor. Carefully inspect for abrasions, exposed wires, or broken wires. Also look for melted or otherwise damaged areas. Repair if necessary. Electrical wiring. Check the wiring harness for loose connections, loose wires, or dirty terminals. Disconnect all wiring harness connections from the vehicle, output shaft speed sensor, TFT sensor, and PCM/ECM unit. Using a multimeter on an ohm scale, check for excessive resistance. If the resistance is too high, trace the bundle of wires through the circuit between each connector to determine the cause. If there is resistance, there may be a short circuit to earth. The wiring harness should be checked for damage to the wiring harness or areas that could be grabbed by contact with the car chassis. Faulty wiring can often be the cause of error P0720. Check the wiring harness for possible signs of damaged cables or loose connections. Measure the resistance by removing the connector and using a digital multimeter adapted to the ohm scale. If the resistance is out of range or above the limit, replace the sensor. Check that the sensor and the PCM wiring harness connector are energized using the factory wiring diagram. If the OSS sensor is on the same line as the TFT sensor, the voltage will vary depending on the temperature of the transmission fluid. Transmission fluid temperature sensor. A faulty transmission fluid temperature sensor, TFT, can also be the cause of error P0720. This is usually seen in vehicles equipped with the TFT sensor in line with the OSS sensor. The TFT sensor is also checked for resistance using a multimeter mounted on an ohm scale. If the reading is out of specification or exceeds the limit, replace the TFT sensor inside the gearbox. Check the wiring harness connector for PCM, ECM power, using the factory wiring diagram as a reference. Place a multimeter on the SHK. In which vehicles is this problem most common? The problem with the P0720 curve can occur in a variety of cars, but there are always statistics on which this error occurs most frequently. Here's a list of some of them. In conclusion, the fault code P0720 indicates a failure in the output shaft speed sensor circuit, which can lead to various performance issues in your vehicle. Addressing this problem promptly is crucial to ensure smooth operation and prevent further damage. Always consult a professional mechanic for accurate diagnosis and repair. By staying informed and proactive, you can maintain your vehicle's reliability and performance. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more automotive insights.